My name is Brian Brady. I'm acting as the chair tonight since Curtis is not here. So the first thing we'd like you to do is take out your cell phones and make sure they're turned off, completely powered off, not just in vibrate mode. Could I have a motion to open the meeting?
I make a motion to open the Board of Architectural Review and Historic Preservation for September 8th, 2014.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, welcome to our meeting this evening. I'd like to introduce our panel to you, which is very limited tonight. We have Ham Hogue, Esther Pastor. Unfortunately, Curtis Highsmith is not here, and Christina Redding is not here. We do have our historic consultant, Zach Studenroth, our legal advisor, Bo Robinson, and Antoinette taking minutes. Thank you very much. We do have a situation tonight that we need to go over with everyone before we start the meeting. We only have 3 members here for the board. We do not have a full board. And one of our members has to leave at 9 o'clock tonight. So we are trying to accommodate as much as we can, but we do have a listing of projects that we are not going to hear tonight. And it's because that we do not have a full board. And I'm going to run through those with you so that if you're not being heard tonight, you have the chance to leave. And then we're also going to rearrange the order of the projects, trying to get the ones that are the most expeditious done and out the door, and we'll see where we are by 9 o'clock. So I'm sorry for the inconvenience that puts on people. I know a lot of people have probably traveled a long way to get here, but that's the situation that we're in. So we will be hearing all the signs tonight. We will not be hearing 40 Meadow Lane. We will not be hearing 450 Gin Lane. We will not be hearing David and Sylvia Hermer. We will not be hearing 436 Gin Lane. Okay.
Chairman, that's for a full board vote, correct?
That's because a full board is not here to vote on those decisions.
Is it possible that you could at least hold open the opportunity, for example, on 450? Oh, you have 320 Murray you will be hearing.
320 Murray we will not be hearing because it's only 3 of us. It's a brand new project. It's a very large project, and we just feel that we need a full board to look at that. We feel it'll take up a lot of time tonight, and we do only have till 9 o'clock.
Because on both 450 as well as 320 Murray, I probably have a combined 7 or 8 people who have traveled from New York. Can you at least open the possibility that if you got through some of the quicker matters, you could consider hearing them?
Bo, what do you think?
John, no, one can't make a comment. I mean, they'd rather not do it. I don't know if you would want it heard if you don't have a full
You're going to have
board.
to do it all over again.
Well, we all listen to the tapes, and I'd like to at least familiarize. We will do it all over. I'd like to at least familiarize yourself. Have you familiar? I know you know 450. That's been the source of a number of hearings, but at least if I could familiarize you with 320.
I don't think the board should make a commitment, John. I mean, everybody wants to be first, and that just may not work out tonight.
I understand. If you would hold open the possibility that I could at least familiarize you with you
If we're through everything and we're still before 9 o'clock?
If the time permits. That's all I would ask you.
All right. You fine with that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, sir. I mean,
Yes.
we're also talking about 450. Do we now have to stay until 9 o'clock, or did you just say that we...
That will not be
We
heard.
will not be
Yeah.
hearing 450.
No. 320 we might be hearing.
So, thank you for your clarity. And
Yeah, I'm sorry for the
No,
inconvenience.
that's not an inconvenience at all. We'll prefer the whole board to be here for it.
Very well.
You want to start with sign applications?
Let's start with signs.
The first sign is for Newmark Grub Knight Frank.
I'm Ron Fisher for the applicant. Can you just confirm you have the most up-to-date one? Good, okay.
Okay. Looks like this is Newmark Grub Knight's, logo and how.
Absolutely.
Things. Any board members have any issues?
I don't have any issue.
Does the public have any issues on this sign? No? Motion to approve?
I make a motion to approve the sign for Newmark Grub Knight Frank, 11 East Lane.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So now, what do I do here? Stamp this.
Yep. Next application is for grade or an architect sign.
Ron Fisher for the applicant.
We don't have anything on that.
Can we look at,
Sure. It's just, it's a black and white sign, job site sign.
we don't have, even have the application.
We don't have an
Unfortunately,
application.
it's on the
Oh.
agenda, but it's not, we don't have the application, so we can't take that.
No.
Oh,
Apologies. But if you want to get our feedback from it.
I'd love that if you don't mind. It's going to be a 24 by 18 job site sign.
Fine with it.
Yeah. It's not gonna waste.
We just
Okay.
need your application.
Black sign, white lettering. Any public comment? No?
Real quick, that sign needs a custom metal frame. Is it okay to send to fabrication but not put it up until you have the application next week or in 2 weeks?
I don't see
What's
an
the
issue with
size?
it.
24 by 18.
Yeah, I'm fine with it.
That's fine. Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
Okay.
So we have to wait because
We
we
have to
don't have
wait.
a full
Okay.
application.
We're not voting on it then.
And do we have anything for bespoke real estate?
That was also supposed to be in there. I have copies.
Okay.
Not in there either.
And we'll take a look. Is this, it's black with a gray?
It's silver background with black
Silver.
text.
Okay,
And again, 24 by 18. It's a real estate sign.
right, okay. I don't think you're gonna
I
have
don't
any
think you're
issues.
gonna have-
Okay, so these are okay to make, and then we'll just get approval. Do you
should
mind?
err on the side of caution, but you have a favorable view from the board.
Okay, thank you. And last question, if I'm not here on that Monday, will you still vote on it? Nothing's going to change, but I'd rather not come back if that's okay.
Yeah, we've done that in the
I don't
past.
see any.
You can vote with that. Okay. Thank you very much.
Ron, in the future, please make sure everything gets in.
I checked with them this morning, and they confirmed.
Next time, make sure it gets in.
Okay, thank you. Yep.
Next sign is for Starbucks Coffee Company, 29 Hampton Road.
For the applicant, this is the sign aspect of this Starbucks proposal, just the sign. You have, the next meeting, you have the facade changes coming in. It's also before the planning board. So if you wanted to hold it all for the facade and the sign, that would be fine.
terrific.
That might be,
Thank
that
you.
might make
We'd
more sense.
prefer that.
Let me just move things
Thank
along.
you.
Okay.
Thank you, John.
So,
So we adjourn?
Make a motion on the applicant's request for adjournment.
At my request.
yeah,
I make a motion to adjourn the sign application for Starbucks as per the applicant.
second.
All in favor?
Aye. Okay, so now we have
Okay.
a different,
No, now we're going into historic. So, first application historic is Home Nature LLC.
For
Is
the
closed.
record, 40 Meadow Lane is not being heard tonight in order, and 450 Gin Lane is not being heard tonight. David and Sylvia Hermer is not being heard tonight, nor is 436, is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay, so the first one that we have in order is Home Nature, and there's a written decision.
In the
We know
file,
what's going on there.
written decision approving the application pursuant to the consensus of the board. An affirmative vote on the application, on the motion would be to approve the application, and I also can advise you that they're also in the files, respective files from the Alexander Scott and 5 Gin Lane written decisions, also based upon the same premise that pursuant to the consensus of the board approving the applications, the decision is written to approve.
Okay. So, do I have a motion? Can we do them all at one time?
Do them each
Each one?
individually.
Okay. Do I have a motion for Home Nature?
I make a motion, we approve the application of Home Nature LLC for amendment of a prior ARB decision addressing second floor facade fenestration.
second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I make a motion, I'm sorry, the hearing for Alexander Scott for 70 Little Plains Road, I make a motion that we approve the application for two-story additions to the dwelling.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
5 Gin Lane for construction of a 2.5-car garage. The vote? Make a motion?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay.
And first hearing, historic,
Just let me get this out
We're
Oh,
of
going
the
to do
way.
that, I think.
Blake and Anne Marie Myers. I'm so sleepy. Is the applicant present? No postponement?
Yeah.
Make a motion to adjourn the application for Blake and Anne Marie Myers.
Second.
All in
All those
favor?
in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Now we're cheap for Myers? Yes. Okay, you want to come up and present then? Okay.
Philip Peabody. This is for an addition of a bedroom onto a house on Elm Street. I have some illustrations here.
I think we looked at this briefly. Do you have any issues with this application?
I do not.
You do not, do you? I don't either.
We're being quick tonight,
Don't
Sandy.
And it's-
But for the record, you may want to have
Oh,
those
okay,
stamped
yeah.
and put in the file.
and also for the record, you know that this is in the historic district and it requires a written decision.
Yeah, but also for the record, let Sandy make his presentation.
Mm-hmm.
Don't slow up. Steve.
Just one copy. And that's the posting affidavit.
We should ask for public comment. Do we have the file? Do you have small sets by any chance?
You're
Pardon?
coming.
Oh, okay.
Small what?
Small sets?
Yes, I've got two more sets of two.
Oh, I see. This is it.
Sandy, how many square feet is the addition?
This is 270.
270?
This is the addition.
It's lovely. It looks like it's always been there.
Yep, thanks.
Any public comment on this application? Ham, you're fine?
No, it's very appropriate. It's 270 square feet.
Zach,
You done?
did you want to see it? The small addition on the left.
You're right.
I'm on the right. Yep.
Oh, that was great. Very compatible. Yep.
All the materials are matching the existing house.
Matching.
Everything's matching. Okay.
Window configuration and everything, yeah.
Okay. Motion to approve.
We'll close for written decision.
Okay. Motion.
Make a motion to close this application for written decision, prepared by council.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Sorry it's late. I didn't realize.
Where is the file?
Lisa, you're here on Murray Lane?
320, yes.
320, we're not going to hear that application tonight. We want to have a full board here because of its size.
Good.
And the applicants have noted that, and they've left for the evening.
They're outside in the hall, but thank you.
Rear exit door, too. Anyway,
Thank you.
So where are we
Yeah,
going
thank the
now?
board.
Are we going
Okay,
to?
we are going, this is the order of now.
All right, so we're going out of order now. We're going to hear some driveway gates next. So Josh Guberman, 38 Harvest Lane. Is the applicant present?
I'm the representative, John Locascio, for the applicant. Josh
Huberman?
Guberman. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. What was the spacing?
Between the gates?
Between the spindles.
Between the spindles.
I'm not sure.
That's kind of critical.
It's not on there.
Lisa, are you the architect on this?
Not this one, no.
I'm sorry, we may have the wrong one. This is.
Melanie
What
Geigel.
is on here?
38 Harvest Lane, right?
Yeah, that's it.
I'm Herrick Road.
Lisa's a Loga architect.
Oh, okay. I did those drawings.
One of your projects.
Okay, it was not really.
That's great.
Hi, how are you?
Did they pay the bill or something?
I was
Well,
just
how much
supplying
spacing do you
drawings.
have on the?
It was the same 50% that you asked for.
50%.
Yes, it was 50% spacing. So it was the 2.5 inches in between.
Okay.
It's not noted on there.
That would be
No, it's not
100%
noted.
spacing or 50% spacing?
No, 50%. A 2-inch spindle and a 2-inch.
That's
Oh,
100%.
you're right. I
But you're only
apparently should
50%
go
of the
home
gates.
and come back again.
So it's 2.5-inch spacing.
Do you want to
I haven't seen them since I drew them.
Yeah, of course.
Oh, God. Yeah, she didn't put the ones in with it. Yes. 2-inch spacing, 2-inch spindles.
2 and 2.
So 100%.
Okay. Thank you.
And the bottom is a panel, but that panel is very low, so it's,
Okay.
That's solid.
yes, that's solid.
So 2-inch spindles, 2-inch spacing.
Yes.
Any public comment?
Board members? Fine. Motion to
Fine.
approve.
Yep.
Make a motion to approve the gates for Josh Guberman, 38 Harvest Lane.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Next application.
Kids are sick, they called me last
She said she was coming.
Melanie Geigel,
That's me.
208 Herrick Road.
That one I know.
Okay.
I can just pile them up down here.
Yeah, it's probably better. I'll look down here.
You're done. David and Millie. You guys want little sets?
Are these
I think we're okay, Lisa.
Okay.
We have-
You can all share that one.
There's only 3 of us.
There's only 3 of you?
Affidavit of posting, affidavit of mailing. Here.
What I will give you are 3 copies of what is currently there. This is at 208 Herrick Road. We've been building a new house there.
Thank you.
Pre-existing non-conforming 6-foot stockade fence along the entire property is what's actually currently there, along with that 6-foot solid gate. We are proposing to remove the 6-foot stockade fence, create a hedge with a wire fence in it so that you will not see that 6-foot stockade fence at all. And then we are proposing these gates. They're about 37%. Not quite 50%.
But it's still non-conforming.
It's non-conforming to what you usually request, correct. So there's a 2.5-inch space in between those slats. I don't know if you've been by the house. The house has a horizontal siding, and they've gone a little bit of a contemporary route on the house, which is where they're going with these gates.
It would be helpful to have pictures of the house.
There should be pictures in there. There should have been a,
No.
We don't have any.
interesting. You don't have this?
Nope.
Okay. This is the house.
Thank you.
So it's a 6-foot high gate, 14 foot 10 between the posts, 5-inch steel post, everything painted a charcoal gray. And again, it's 2.5-inch spacing between the horizontal members, and they're varying widths. Some is 3 inches, some is 6 inches.
Pam?
I actually don't have any issue with this, although, with the design, although the design is saying how non-transparent it is. So with the transparency is my issue, so I wouldn't be in favor of this unless it opened to at least 100%, or I should say 75% or so.
I agree.
Okay.
So you have an alternate.
Of course it is.
I think that, it's a fairly traditional house, even though it has modern overtones, and the gate's
Correct.
very, very modern. The street is not a modern street, so I think we can't go completely modern and opaque.
Okay, I understand.
So your transparency on this,
So the transparent in this is about 46%, which you guys usually ask for 50%. So I think it's
No,
about.
they usually ask for 100.
Oh. Why do I keep going with the 50%? It's half of what's supposed.
No, they like at least the same spacing.
Okay.
if not more.
I don't know if I'm calculating in my head correctly.
This is deceiving because it's going to be at the street
Right, and
with
that's-
privet on either side, so.
So this has the 4-inch spacing with a 6-inch, you know,
Right.
again, varying widths, much more open than that one. The horizontal members are narrower, the spaces are wider.
Given the traditional nature of the street and the houses, the surrounding houses, I personally would like to see something more in keeping with the other houses and the other gates on the street.
Okay.
So if you could come
In
up with,
terms of materials or in terms of styles?
Oh,
yeah, both.
Okay.
and increase the transparency, please.
Yeah, and I think it would be helpful, Lisa, if you did a drawing of the gate with privet on either side of it, how it's
Okay.
going to actually be seen, because this really throws us off.
I know, well,
you
that's
know,
the
'cause it-
that's
yeah.
the landscape designer.
It would be very helpful.
Okay. Okay, I will do that.
Any public comment?
No? So you're asking us to adjourn?
I am.
Okay, motion to adjourn.
Make a motion to adjourn Melanie Geigel, 208 Herrick Road.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
The next application is Andrew Starr, 14 Layton Avenue.
Is the applicant present?
Adjourn.
Make a motion to adjourn Andrew Starr, 14 Layton Avenue.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. And then we have BRL 4 LLC, 101 Pheasant Lane. Is the applicant present? I make a motion to adjourn BRL 4 LLC, 101 Pheasant Lane.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right. And then Bruin and Klein, 79 North Captain's Neck Lane. The applicant present. I make a motion to adjourn Bruin and Klein, 79 North Captain's Neck Lane.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So a lot of these people probably,
May not have come because they thought we were going to be
Not
later,
necessarily.
yeah?
but who knows?
No, I think they're coming later.
Well, we'll deal with them if they come later.
Necessarily.
So we're going to public hearings, non-historic. The first one is Vitale Chili, 732 Hill Street.
Is the applicant present?
Make a motion to adjourn Vitale Chili, LLC, 732 Hill Street.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. The next application is Emanon East Corp., 30 Pelletreau, for construction of an accessory garage.
Michael White for the applicant. Last week, I proposed to move the garage forward, the garage that we demoed. And I think Ms. Pastor wanted to take a look at the site.
I did.
And I also have a drawing that might clarify, not a drawing, but actually a picture. You could see the one space that says where the new garage is and where the neighbor's garage is. And the reason we're pulling it forward is for privacy, and so they could, you know, back up properly
Right.
without a long backup. And also, the neighbor said that there's no garages on the side of houses in the neighborhood, and this is the house next door. It has the garage.
I don't have any issues. Thank you, Michael. You guys good?
Public comment?
Yeah,
Public
public
comment.
comment.
Do we have any public comment on this application? No? Motion to approve.
Thank you very much, by
Thank
the
you.
way.
Thank you, Mike.
Thank you.
I make a motion to approve the application for Emanon East, 30 Pelletreau Street.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. The next application is for Wickapog Realty 1 LLC, 108 Halsey. Is the applicant present?
I'm Bill Slight, architect, architect for the applicant.
Get a chance to look at it. Read the issues.
I think we're okay with this now. I did go down to the site. I did look at it in the context of the other houses.
I was
that was
concerned
the-
about the sky plane. You were filling it up, but your neighbors are, right there too.
Right, yeah, and we do conform to the pyramid laws and to the setbacks.
So we did go down and
Yeah.
we did take a look at the site.
Any public comment on this application? No? Motion to approve?
I make a motion to approve the application for Wickapog Realty 1 LLC.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right.
Good luck.
Thank you for your time.
This goes in with that. The next application is Evan and Julia Scheuer, 140 Meeting House Lane. Is the applicant present?
The architect, Rick Suter. Get the affidavits. I brought some smaller plans.
Thank you.
Is this representative of the file?
No, there's a couple slight differences I'm going to
I just
explain,
understand them, that's all.
just to make it clear, the actual overall design's not different.
Affidavit of posting, yeah. You're saying these don't align?
No, there's a little more information, clearer information. In the application, there was a confusion, the survey, which they had asked for a copy of, the surveyor used sort of a hatched line on existing things, and the secretary thought that was actually proposed, and I said, no, she asked me to clarify the site plan, so in this you'll see, I hatched in the proposed area. Before it was just a simple white box, now it's been shaded in to make it a little clearer. What we're actually proposing.
Square feet are you proposing?
We're proposing 555 square feet as a one-story addition.
Right.
There's a deck which is going to be constructed over one of the existing porches.
Proposed porch, as it's indicated on the plan on
And there-
A4?
Say that again?
Is that the proposed porch that's on A4?
Yes, there's a proposed new porch, and then there's an existing porch which we're putting a roof deck over, and that was also part of the confusion in the application.
Got it. So the square footage of that is an addition or is inclusive of the porch areas?
No, the addition is enclosed space of 555 square feet. The porch is another 100.
Proposed is how big?
The second floor roof deck, that porch is 200 square feet, and the one on the first floor is 130 square feet, I believe, 10 by 13.
So there's an existing roof deck that's being extended? is that
Exact,
right?
that's correct. Extended to the south, that's correct.
And what is the distance between your property line and the southern boundary?
Property line, you're referring to the addition?
The setback.
How far is the setback of the addition to the rear property line?
The neighbors to the roof deck, proposed roof deck.
The neighbors to the roof deck is probably about 80 feet.
Okay.
The property is surrounded by existing privet hedges. I don't know if you've been down to look at the property. Approximately 15 to 16 feet tall. We're maintaining the parking places as they exist. There's no proposed bedroom additions, but we are adding a kitchen, mudroom, and adding on to the dining room.
Where's the present parking?
Where the three spaces that I show are that is the existing parking.
You're not changing the,
No, we're reducing it a little bit in the back where the addition actually is going. However, we're keeping an existing tree that's at the edge of that parking, so it's not really, it's gravel, but you really can't get a car there because a tree is in the way.
do you have any photographs of the landscape of the surrounding houses, the streetscape?
We have photographs, I submitted photographs of the existing house, and let me just see if I have,
And the streetscape to the east and west?
We only have these. And I think I'd like to make a
I'd
suggestion
like to
to
take a
this.
look at this on site.
I think so too.
I know your
I'd also like
details,
to
we were
see it.
asking for more details when we looked at these, the building department, or at least when I did today. Do you have any quarter-inch sections of the detail sections that you can provide? Fascia, rake, soffit?
I have not done those yet, no, it's like, I
In
could
the
do that.
meantime, I'd like to look at the site and just get a visual on it, what you're proposing. I don't know what you got.
I definitely would, and I'd also like to see it on the survey, the proposed addition on the survey.
Oh, plotted on the survey in addition to
Yeah.
the site plan.
And this will allow you to update your handheld set with your file set as well.
Okay.
And some more detail on the drawings would be great. And are these the garage doors over here? I mean, we need more detail on everything.
Oh, yeah, no, those are
The
French
windows.
doors with narrow buttons, but no.
Okay,
okay.
so
We
we
don't know
can't
that.
tell what they are. So
Uh-huh.
we need more detail. We'd like to see it plotted on the survey. We'd like to make a site visit, and then we'll go from there.
You want to request an adjournment so you can get that together?
Let's see
Yeah,
if there's
that's
any
fine.
public comment.
Yeah.
Okay.
Any public comment on this application?
Okay, yes, I'd
Chairman,
like to adjourn, yeah.
Okay, where are we?
Motion to adjourn?
I make a motion to adjourn Evan and Julia Schroyer, 140 Meeting House Lane,
At their request.
at their request.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. Did we decide to, 57 Moses Lane?
Did I tell them
Got it.
that? I said that.
No, nor do I.
Yeah.
The next application will be Vincent Primiano, 57 Moses Lane. So, Lucy? I had gone down to the site because I was concerned about the surrounding houses, and I'm comfortable with, what you've presented, so I don't know if there's any additional information that you want to provide. You didn't have an issue, Brian, did you?
No, I didn't.
Pam?
No.
I went to the site too, and it was, your pictures, it was deceiving because there's so much open space, but now I sort of understand what you're doing, so.
Thank you.
Any public comment on this application?
I make a motion
approve?
to approve Vincent Primiano, 57 Moses Lane.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. The next application is Brewer and Klein, 79 North Captain's Neck Lane. Is the applicant present?
Adjourn.
I make a motion to adjourn Brewer and Klein, 79 North Captain's Neck Lane.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. The next application is A. Paul Victor, 20 Downs Path. Please.
Good evening. Rich Flakowski from Peter Cook Architect. Have renderings
Do we
I'd
have
like
the
to submit.
affidavits?
Didn't see.
Peter renderings.
The affidavit's in there?
Do we have the
You have the
affidavits?
affidavit of posting and mailing of this project?
Are they in there? Yeah, okay.
Yep.
I see the list.
This is on everything right before it as well.
Are you entering in the affidavit of posting and
Yes.
mailing?
Oh, he has them? Okay.
Yeah. Two renderings. Is that- Yeah. Okay. Rick Flakowski from Peter Cook.
Affidavit of posting, affidavit of mailing, and picture of the posting. Another picture of the posting. Go ahead.
Okay, so as you can see from the renderings, the house's vernacular is very similar to many of the houses around the Hamptons. Our exterior materials are natural cedar shingle, sidewalls, cedar shake, roofing shingles, all exterior trim will be white. Gutters will be half round white. I think we're proposing a stucco, cement stucco, pale tan cream color on the exterior foundation walls.
Do you have
And-
small sets? I don't mean to interrupt
I
you.
have one small set here.
That would be very
You could take
helpful.
that, yeah.
A small set of line with your
Yes,
set,
yes.
do they match?
How are we
Yes.
on square footage?
Square footage is on the small set and the large set as well. It's 7,000 square feet total, first and second floor.
7,000?
7,000 first and second, yes.
How many square feet is how big is the lot? Just under an acre, right?
Yeah, I think it is, yes.
40,000?
No, acre and a half, 67,000.
Really?
Yeah. Because it's a long, narrow lot, the,
It's like
kind
it's
of
on the
restricting.
corner of Flying Point and Downs Path. I don't know what this neighbor.
You've got these outside decks. I'd really like to take a look at this in greater detail. Is this just above the entryway?
That's above the entryway here, but the others are in the back here. About 50 feet to the neighbor.
50 feet to the neighbor.
Roughly.
And we're okay for lot coverage. How big is the?
Yeah, it's a big lot.
Okay.
yeah, we comply with all lot coverage calculations. I have it listed on the survey if you want to take a look.
That was allowed 11.
Mm-hmm, okay.
Ham, comment?
I think it's appropriate. I don't mind the decks. In this case, the lot's big enough.
Esther?
It's a very good-looking house. Is there any public comment on the application? Brian?
Yeah, I'm fine with it. I think it's a
fine with it,
nice-looking
too.
house.
It's a very handsome-looking house.
If this neighbor was here to say something, I might listen. Okay, motion to approve.
Thank you.
I make a motion to approve 8 Paul Victor, 20 Downs Path.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Next. Sure.
Okay. Farrell Building Company, 80 Downs Path. Go to the front, please.
Yep. Last time you were here, we asked for more detail.
Yeah, I have new sets. We added to the site plan, Will Manier, I'm the architect. I have small sets for you.
They match up to file set,
Yeah, these are the same drawings as in the filed set, they're just with all the notes.
and you're the architect on the project?
Yes. So to the design elevations, we added the ridge heights. You'll see on the site plan, we added the silhouette of the existing house, which will be demolished.
What's the size of the lot here?
The lot is 61,475 square feet.
And the ridge line is 31?
31 and change, I believe, yep. 31 and change.
Right.
So you're next door to the house that we just heard.
Yes.
I believe so, yeah.
Do you have a landscape plan?
Do not have a landscape plan, no.
We would like to see one, please.
Which screening are we looking for here?
We'd just like to see all of it.
All 4 compass points?
Let's see. So that's what we just heard. That's the second
And
lot.
he has some existing screening here because it was a house. It was there beforehand.
I mean, there's a Google Earth image you'll see of
That's
the
very helpful,
surrounding.
thank you.
The lot is, on an S curve. There's a lot of frontage. You'll see on our site plan, there's no real rear yard. It sort of ends at 2 side yards. So we have a front elevation, and we tried the right side to dress up the house as it may be seen from the street by adding that screen porch and
16.
having sort of 2 front elevations to the house. It's not on a corner, but try to dress up the right
So
side.
it's 800.
Is it?
Yeah.
Sorry.
I'm sorry, would you repeat that? There was a little.
Since it is on that curve, it's not technically on a corner, but it does have almost 2 front yards. The right elevation, we really tried to dress that up. There's the screen porch on that side, sort of to have some frontage to the street as it continues around the edge of the property there. And that's the rendering. The shot from the rendering is sort of the front right corner.
Road's doing this.
I mean, it's a big, wide open space, so I definitely would like you to come back with a real landscape plan.
Screening.
Okay?
I'm having a little difficulty also with the right elevation.
And left.
In terms of the way that it's rendered on the plan. I'd like to see more detail. And
Could you be a little more specific on that?
well, if you look at this,
Mm-hmm.
the roof line's here.
That's a porch that comes off of the house. You can see that on the rendering.
It's hard for me to,
Well, you can see that on the rendering. The first page is a rendered, photorealistic rendering of the house.
okay.
Where's your fascia, soffit, and freeze indicators here? Dimensions.
How are we
What are your
with
dimensions?
GFA on all of that?
It's not.
In the construction set, which I don't know if you have a copy of, the permit drawings that we submitted, we have a page in there.
Okay, but these match the permit drawings, right?
Correct.
Okay, so. where
7
are-
1/4 inch usually
I
is,
got it, but where are the dimensions on the mini set?
no, like I said, these are design drawings that we turn all the notes off to help sort of show the house.
One second, do you see on the main drawings any details of the fascia, soffit, freeze?
Take a look.
It would be very helpful to have all the information that are on the big sets, on the little sets.
Inclusive of the details. That's basically what we asked you for, among other things. Were you aware of that, or?
No, I was not actually. I didn't understand that. I mean, I have the small set that we issued. If you'd like copies of this, I mean, I just think things are a little harder to see on here. These are the drawings that were submitted with the application on file. Yeah, those. I mean, there's a whole page of fascia and soffit details on there.
This mini set that you just gave us,
Yes.
is there a set of details that are, not to scale necessarily, but show the scale?
I did not print out that page. No, that page is in that set.
Okay. Why, did you see it there? Because I didn't see it in the plan set.
Here's all the details. Yeah.
You just didn't pull them down to the mini set.
Yeah, this, I assume you look at the big set, and this is just sort of a cleaner version of that to see the design.
In your combination pool house, you're allowed, what, 800 square feet for that gym and pool house, and you're 6.7, something like that?
Correct.
Do you have all the detail on the pool house?
No. This is just the set for the main house. So
So we also need more information on the pool house, please.
There's a full set of drawings like
this
that.
says main house, so there's
Yeah.
another set.
If you just give us a set that says matches main house, the detail of the mains, it's already the same.
There is a full set like that there should be in the file of the pool house.
You see the pool house in there?
Separate set of drawings.
Could be made simple.
And also on the small set, again, I have the pool house with all the notes and dimensions turned off, just to sort of show the design of the pool house. That's all the notes, dimensions.
Okay.
Good.
Thank you. All right, so you'll come back with the landscape sign?
Okay.
Any public comment on this application? Okay, so you're asking us to adjourn so you can come back with a
If
landscape
you
plan?
require a landscape plan, I didn't know that was a requirement, but if you're asking for
We
it,
are asking for it.
I'll come back with landscape plan.
Thank you.
Okay.
Motion to adjourn.
Make a motion to adjourn applicant's request to
No,
adjourn.
make a motion to
Approve
that.
applicant's request to adjourn for, where are we? 80 Downs Path, Farrell Building Company.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Let me see.
Twelve times. That's all I can hear.
You may want to recall some of the earlier ones
Okay.
that were.
Adjourned.
Yeah, is there
Is
anyone?
it the end of the,
No, but there might have been some applicants that were not here. Are there
did we
any
go-
app?
Sorry, did we go through the whole?
Yeah,
Yes.
we
We
did.
did. Okay, so you're gonna do second calls then.
Right.
This man is here for number 7 that you guys already called, right?
Yeah, we're going through that right
So we
now.
can-
He'll be here in 10 minutes. They're not here yet.
Okay.
Okay,
We're
that's
going
fine.
through second calls. so.
That's fine.
Ready?
Go ahead.
So where's Bo's list? Where we went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah.
Here. Okay. This we heard. This we heard. 3 was adjourned, right?
Mm-hmm.
11,
7,
12, 11, 12, and 13, Brian.
Right. Well, 11 we heard.
Right.
So let's,
Andrew Starr we heard too, right? Or do you want to recall Starr?
No, recall, Star.
okay.
Sorry?
Yes, recall.
Yes.
Andrew Starr, 14 Layton Avenue for dormer and deck addition to dwelling, new construction of a pool house. I actually looked at this, I don't see any issues, very small. Anyone here on the application for Andrew Starr?
Yes.
Okay.
Where's the application? Affidavit of mailing and posting?
You have the affidavit?
I figure I'll wait till you get your mini set so you can see them before I start.
Could we have your name?
Sure. My name is Mary Riley from the firm Ione Renaissance Associates Incorporated. Address is 732 Smithtown Bypass, Smithtown, New York. We are here as the agent for as the applicant for Andrew Starr, who's the owner of 14 Layton Avenue in Southampton. Today we are here before you as we are proposing a dormer addition to an existing one-story residence. In doing so, we're going to increase the ridge height from 20'5", which it is now, to 24 1 1/2.
All right, 1 second. Affidavit of posting, affidavit of mailings on file.
Yes.
Yeah, we're here.
Go ahead.
Okay. The dormer will be roofed and sided in a red cedar shake shingle, which we have. Both the roofing and the siding will be that material. will be left natural in color to age, and it will have a 6-inch exposure to match the current existing siding. We're also proposing a 5 by 9'9" portico with 2 8-inch round columns. The columns will be in keeping with the traditional style of the home, and they will have a Tuscan cap and attic base. We're removing an existing 2-car garage, which is somewhat of an eyesore as it does not match the house. It's made of concrete block. And we're proposing, somewhat in its existing location, a 17-foot by 11-foot pool cabana that will match the residence in terms of siding and roofing. The materials that we will use for all structures are as follows: AZEK trim for moldings, casing, and fascia boards. That will all be painted white. The Anderson 400 series for all new windows, and this cedar shakes as we have shown you. We'd be more than happy to answer any additional questions you may have.
Right.
Just wonder if there's a way to center that door.
Yeah, to center it.
Ham?
Yeah, appropriate, nice, good presentation.
Thank you.
Esther?
I would have loved to seen the front door centered under the
The front
portico.
door is exactly where it is now, and because of how the interior lays out,
We're
he was
just-
loath to move it, but yeah, we had the same
We were
complaints.
just- We were just discussing that. It would be so much,
We had the
so
same
much better, but
complaint.
we can appreciate that it's an issue. Yeah. Other than that, that's the only comment I have.
Are you keeping the blue door? No.
I hope not.
Any public comment on this application? Okay, motion to approve.
I make a motion to approve Andrew Starr, 14 Layton Avenue.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for your presentation. Very good.
Thirteen BRL.
Did you start this?
No, it's all
Okay,
right.
fine.
I just have to sign.
Okay. I'm sorry,
So
where
now-
are we now?
13 BRL recall.
BRL for LLC, 101 Pheasant Lane.
We're half here. So can we just wait a little bit? I don't-
Oh, yeah,
Great, thank
okay,
you.
so you don't have everybody?
Right.
Okay. Is there any other applicant here?
Vitale Silly.
Okay.
So that's 732 Hill Street. So we're recalling Vitale Chili, 732 Hill Street. Is it Silly?
Yes.
Okay.
So
Do we have the affidavits?
Go through all of them yet? Did you get through the whole list yet?
We're recalling the ones that weren't here.
Or did you get to number
Yes.
8 yet?
No.
Thank you.
Number 8.
Oh, this is,
Sorry.
that was,
We already did
103
that. That was
Elm
Sandy, right?
No.
No, number 8 is 320 Murray Place.
Is one of
Oh, I was number 8
A
historic.
couple of different agendas, let's back up,
You want 103 Elm?
let's back
No,
up.
we already did that. Do you want 103 Elm Street?
I heard it was gonna be late, so we came a little late.
for which one?
Which application?
103 Elm.
103 Elm.
103 Elm.
We already heard it.
Myers.
Yes.
We heard 103, no.
Is it too late to make a comment?
I'm
Yes.
afraid it is.
I'd let her make the comment, but
See what the
let her make
comments
the
are?
comment. I mean, you were,
What was the?
explain,
approved it.
explain your position and then let her make the
Written
comment.
But wait a second, we also have an applicant standing in front of us.
That's okay.
We'll hear, no,
Take a seat for a second.
Because, you know, sometimes they pass it like 2
We
o'clock
closed
in
the
morning.
application for written decision on
Just-
103.
Is what?
Go ahead, Brian.
okay. Would you like to come up and speak to us? Okay.
So are we going, where are we now?
We are at Myers at 103 Elm Street, hearing public comment.
No, you're going to hear the comment, and then based upon the comment, you'll decide whether or not you want to reopen
Okay.
the matter for any
Okay.
purpose.
Pass it?
No.
It's closed for written decision,
Would
but
you
we had,
like-
we had no objection to it.
First of all, I apologize for being late. We saw a list where it was so far down the list, we were told it would be late in the evening. My name is John Docks. I live at 109 Elm Street, which is the house just north of 103. I moved to 109 Elm Street. I wrote some things down to try to keep it somewhat cohesive. I moved to 109 Elm Street with my wife and family in 1973. My parents, family, and I have lived on Elm Street at 194 since 1958, back when there were actually elm trees on Elm Street. The elm trees succumbed to Dutch elm disease and boring beetles in the 70s and are gone. Now the threat to Elm Street is to the houses themselves and by new buyers who want to change historic homes to make them bigger and bigger, changing the look of the street. The pictures I was presented as the proposed addition only showed the house with all surroundings cropped out. I brought some pictures showing the house and its relation to my house, so you can see where it will be if it is expanded the proposed 13 feet to the north of my house. And also everything looked green. It's not green now. Is that going to be painted green? You saw?
Have you seen these?
Okay, that's the actual. And another one looked greenish. Is that, am I incorrect on that?
Building department, they were green.
That building part?
The building was green, or the?
It looked like it was.
No,
It's
he's
neither
matching
here-
everything
okay,
that's
neither
there.
here nor there
The
then.
addition is about a little bit less than 300 square feet.
Right.
Have you seen,
Why don't we give you these
Yeah,
to
have you
take a
seen
look
these?
at?
Yes.
He has seen
you know
them.
what I'm showing you yet?
Yes.
John, take a look. You see, do you know where the addition is there? It's
Sure.
all the way to the right.
It's the whole thing to the right. Yeah. That
This
look-
little guy. to the
Yeah.
Right there.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Just want to make sure we're on the
Okay.
same page.
When this group of houses were built, they're closer on the south boundary, and space was allowed on the north side by putting driveways there. There was a driveway separating 103 and my property that went back to a garage. The driveway was filled in by the previous owner and is now grass, where they propose to expand this house. The backyard there is now a pool, and the garage has been worked on, and I believe it is now a pool house. So the space that was meant to give separation for our houses will be gone if this is allowed. Now, from the plans I looked at, the house at 103 is approximately 25 feet wide at the front. There are some decimal points there, but it's less than 26 feet. The proposed addition is 13 feet wide and therefore would add more than 50% to the front footage of the house. I think this would totally change the picture, the look of the house. It's a nice looking house as you look at it, but look at my pictures and see where that addition will put it in relation to things. There are stained glass windows and other features on the north side of this house that would be removed, changed, or obliterated by this addition. I realize that times go on, people go on, die, and these houses are changing hands to new owners. I say that these new owners have a responsibility to preserve the outer look of these houses for future generations. They should embrace the history that is Elm Street, live there, and enjoy the most beautiful street in Southampton. To the board, I respectfully say, we couldn't save the elm trees, but we can preserve Elm Street and our village, and all it is. And I ask you to say no to this addition. And here are the pictures, like I say, can I hand those in? Which I kind of went around so you can get a view of my house, the hedge, which is the property line, and how close that driveway, and I don't know what's going to happen with parking, which is another concern. Thank you.
Okay. Any other public comment?
Thank you. Dennis, come up here. I want to say a blanket thank you for the hedge law. Thank you. Now we can do the height. It's been a...
That's not this board, ma'am.
Not this board? Okay, well, whatever.
They meet in this room, though.
What?
They meet in this room, though.
Oh, okay, well, whatever.
Yeah.
I'm very happy it was done.
Could you identify yourself for the record?
Pam Dock, sorry. This is the historic district, and it is a historic house in the historic district. And I thought that there were different rules pertaining to these homes. So people come in, they moved the cesspools, and before they even moved in, they were planning this 300 square foot bedroom. So maybe something has to be told to people moving in to the village that they can't just do this in a historic district to historic homes. That's my deal. And the garage is no longer a garage, and there was a concern about getting to the back of the property. The cesspools are now moved to the front, but in those pictures, you'll see that there were big trees planted all there, so you can't even get to the back of the property. So there will be 10 feet that they're allowing into the, and part of that 10 feet buffer is into the hedge that's there, dividing our properties. Okay, and the other thing that we were worried about is parking spaces per bedroom. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Pam.
Any other public comment? Ham?
I'm fine.
Okay. Esther, would you like to comment?
I think I'd like to digest what everybody had to say. It's unfortunate that you weren't here earlier. I personally feel it's a very tasteful addition to a historic house. Given some of the issues that you've brought up, I would like to make a site visit and take a look at it.
Also, the additions to the old houses.
ma'am? I can't respond to that.
Esther, you've got a problem here because you closed it with subject to decision only. If you feel your board is persuaded enough that you...
I'm not persuaded. I think that the addition is 280 some odd feet. I understand your concerns, John. I
My
understand.
concern is the front.
I understand that, but I think that the architect has done a fine job of
It's a nice looking house, I agree that.
And I think the addition is 280 some odd feet is appropriate to the historic district. I think the way he has designed the the eaves, the fascia, fenestration is right where I'd like to see it as far as meeting the guidelines of the village. I don't think it's a 600-700 square foot addition. I understand that, you know, the garage used to be the way the house was laid up, but he has owner's rights, and they made it appropriate. But the application before us is for an addition that's forward of that. So I understand what your concerns are, but as far as the appropriateness of it, I think it fits right in with our guidelines. Okay. So
Homes that I have seen, the historic homes, they have put the additions on the back of the house.
And I think this is submissive enough, Pam. It's not, it's submissive enough to feel that it is still an additive massing without having it too proactively placed in the front. That's my opinion.
I'll be moving, they can move in.
Okay.
So if you feel you're persuaded enough, you would want to reconsider your original decision, then you'd want to move to reopen, but if not...
I don't feel that I need to reconsider it. I was just going to go down as a matter of courtesy, but I feel it is submissive. I feel it is within the context of the house. I think it's an excellent design to the house.
Then the chairman should probably call for if there's a motion to reopen, and if there's not, then it stays the way it is.
Okay. I'll poll the board. Is there a motion to reopen this?
No.
Pam? No. And I agree.
Sure.
That's it.
Thank you for your comments, Officer.
Okay.
Recall next application.
Give us a minute.
Silly.
732 Hill Street, Vitale, Silly.
Hello, Nicholas DeMarco. So last meeting that we met, you guys requested to see some more trim detail and eave detail, which we added some. We wanted to still keep it subtle, but on the last page of this is the eave detail that you guys requested that shows all the dimensions, and we tried to clean up the CAD drawing to show the shingles and the trim.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you very much. It's much better.
No problem.
Any public comment on this application? Ham?
I'm fine, he's done everything we asked him to. The details are here. And cross checks are good. I'm fine.
Esther?
And did we have a landscape plan for this?
No, because it wasn't required.
Yeah, you have existing landscaping there, am I correct?
Yes.
Because I was down to the site, so I'm fine for that.
Okay. I think it's a very good-looking house.
Thank you.
All right, motion to approve?
Make a motion to approve Vitale Silly, LLC for 732 Hull Street.
Second.
All in favor?
We're getting confused too.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Good luck. Okay. Yeah, we're jumping around differently.
That
So they're here?
Okay.
All right, so we're going to recall Brewer and Klein for 79 North Captain's Neck Lane. You have the file?
Good evening. I'm the architect for the applicant. My name is Val Florio. So the
affidavits?
We're looking.
Val, do you have the affidavit of posting and mailing?
Right here.
Yeah. You got it? Okay. Joe?
All right, this is an addition to an existing residence at the end of a flag lot. And square footage total for the house will be 4,000 square feet. It's 3 bedrooms being added to the second floor of the house. And it's a postmodern home. I don't know the date that it was constructed. I think it's early 1980s, but we've added traditional details, wood roof, and trim, wood siding.
So Val, where's the addition? I'm just seeing a new house here. So,
As you look at the front, the addition is to the left. It's to the center of the house and to the left.
With the dormer?
Correct.
Right.
The gable on the right-hand side is existing, but the massing is a very shallow roof. So we're making 2 symmetrical gables on the face of the building.
And the eyebrow is?
That's new as well.
And the entrance is new.
Correct.
And on the survey, I don't have existing and proposed on the survey.
Okay. This is existing, that's proposed.
Val, how many square feet is your addition?
Yeah.
Wing addition?
Yeah, it's
Second floor is roughly 1,000 square feet. We've pushed out on the first floor of the house on the front and the rear to create the symmetrical gables.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay.
It's a huge improvement.
to say the least. Any public comment on this application? Ham?
No, it's appropriate.
Yeah,
Esther?
and given the fact that it's a flag lot, it's a major improvement over the existing
Nobody
house.
could see it.
I make a motion to approve Brewer and Klein, 79 North Captain's Neck Lane.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is there anyone else Who has not been heard? We know about you, John.
Okay.
Lisa, which application are you here for?
320 Murray.
Bruce?
320.
320. Are you guys here for which applications roughly? I'm sorry?
I'm here with Lisa.
Okay.
320 Murray?
And you guys back there so we can get a
101 Pheasant.
101 pheasant.
Dean's still waiting for staff.
but you're still
you're
waiting.
still waiting.
Still waiting? All eyes are on you.
I'm the little guy.
Okay. I think that's it for tonight then, right?
Well, 3:20. We said,
Oh,
we,
we told everyone that we're not hearing it though, right?
no, we said we
We
could
said if
open
we
it if
had
we had
time.
time, and we have 50 minutes, so.
With the understanding that we're just,
Present again,
yeah,
That you'll present again.
of course.
yeah.
Okay.
I make a motion to,
No,
hear
you just
three-
have to call it.
uh,
just call it.
320 Murray Lane.
Is the applicant
Place.
present?
Yes.
Yes.
320 Murray Place, sorry.
For the applicant, John
I
Bennett.
know you're going to reintroduce this at the next meeting, just for the record. right?
Sure. For the applicant, John Bennett, always a pleasure to have Tim Haynes with me. He's been before you not only on totally new designs, but also on some very wonderful and loving reconstructions of some historic homes. And Melissa Dedovich from Peconic Environmental is here with me as well. I just, before Tim presents, it's very important to understand what the playing field sort of is on this piece of property, because I think it'll have a lot of impact on the way the board views this application. It's an application for single-family residence and accessory structures on a 4.7 acre parcel, so it's a large parcel. So the applicant is proposing not only the residence, but terraced patios and a swimming pool, and just a wonderful landscaping plan, which Tim will take you through, as well as the elevations. But there are some very important things to note for this piece of property. The existing house is at a non-conforming 51.5-foot setback to the east property line. And you might say, how did that get there? Well, it got there because the house, which was in the Kolokundis family before my client purchased it, predates the existence of Barron's Lane.
Could you just repeat that, please?
The existing house is at 51.5 feet. The proposed house, as you can see in the site plan that was filed, is at a conforming 81.4 feet. You might say, how did the house get to the 51.5-foot setback? It's because when the house was constructed, the easterly boundary was a side yard. It was, in other words, it predates the existence of Barron's Lane, the existing house. So we now have is a situation where we're faced with two front yards, in effect. The yard off the cul-de-sac as well as the yard off the easterly boundary. The great thing about this application is that we are going to remove, as it relates to this principal structure of the house, in toto, the non-conforming pre-existing setbacks. And that's important because what it does is it carries all the improvements away in a conforming location from the neighbor to the east. And about that neighbor to the east, the other thing that's important to note in terms of any issues that person may have is that on the easterly boundary of the property are where the accessory structures are located for the neighbor to the east. So that's important. So we do what the code tells us to do. When possible, we move the improvements to a conforming setback. So all required zoning setbacks for the house will be met. Height. Let's talk about height, because that seems to be a more and more important issue.
I'm sorry, Ed Hollander is your landscape architect, Tim?
Yes, he is. Yes.
Okay.
Let's talk about.
Is there any retaining walls along?
Yes, we'll show them. We'll show them. Tim's going to present all that, I think, in a very complete and satisfactory way. I just want to keep you to keep these things in
Thanks, John.
these things in mind. Well, you always do. prior to my the applicant's purchase of this house, on December 26, Mr. Burke Flanagan represented the seller, I represented the purchaser. We obtained a letter from the building inspector stating that the potential height of the house, when taking into account the FEMA height regulations, the potential height of the house, legal height of the house, could be 51.2 feet above mean sea level. That would be for a traditional house. So I want everyone to understand what is the potential height of this house. The proposed house at its... Excuse me?
Is this in a VE zone or?
AE15.
AE15.
AE15. The proposed house at its highest point, is 8 feet lower than the 52 feet above sea level, or 44 feet. And much of the house is 6 feet lower than that, and you'll see it. I'm previewing a little bit about what you're going to hear. But the house is not in a historic district and is on a private road. In the Murray McDonald compound where it's located, the board has allowed construction of contemporary homes. 3 lots down is an approval that we handled a few years ago, and I don't want to confuse these with the elevations for the house, but I just wanted to let you know in terms of character and the way the house would fit into that neighborhood scene. This is the One Squabble Lane house that you approved about 4 years ago, so a contemporary as opposed to a traditional house. And these labels, as far as I'm concerned, in my mind, become less and less important, and certainly less and less of a real defining word. But certainly this is not something that one would consider a traditional gabled roof house. This is approved on One Squabble, about 4 lots down. So I don't want you to confuse that with the proposed house that Tim's going to present, but it's important to see the context of the house. We have an email, I think I have to, from Stephen Karp, who is the owner of the property to the north. I'm sure the house will be beautiful and hope that you can start construction soon. So I'll put that into the record. That's the neighbor to the north, whose view over into the Atlantic Ocean would be most affected. And I think that's what I'd like you to keep in mind while Tim is presenting. Thank you. Yeah. That's Ed's.
Before you start, have there been any adjustments to the original file design that you have in here, either on the landscape or on the architecture?
No. What you see is what we've...
I think they updated the landscape today.
Oh, they updated the landscape today, yes. But all it was further illustration of the existing.
Was it
significant?
I think it was exactly the same hardscape. It's just was further amplified what is proposed for planting material, is how I would
And that was Hollander's office
characterize
that
it.
put that in?
Melissa Dedovich, Peconic Environmental. There was not a formal landscape plan submitted until this afternoon.
Until this morning, right?
Correct. That
Okay.
shows the actual heights and of the different border plantings, which Mr. Haynes will go into detail. We also provided tonight a cross-section showing the retaining walls and planting, which Tim will...
Melissa, that was in the file when I was in the building department.
Correct. I was dropping it off when I saw you.
Okay.
Correct.
Thank you. Sorry, Tim.
I'm going to start with things a little less mundane, because I have to concentrate on the architecture and not the... I want to give you an idea of where I came to on this property, because I had a client who I was working with on a project who said, I'm looking at a piece of land in Southampton. I said, let me go take a look at it. And so I went to take a look at it, and I thought it was a fabulous piece of land. And so every weekend I would sort of drive by and spend an hour or so on it, and took some snap shots. And to me, what I loved about it and what I told him is it's very broad. there's this horizontality and there is this horizon that you're seeing, and sort of the land curves back in both directions, and it sort of, you felt very much this broad, flat piece of land, dune, horizon. So he said, well, what would you do there? You know, and I said, well, to me, I'd like to capture architecturally the essence of that quiet moment of the horizon line. So I said, for me, I'd like to start with a very light, one-story, see-through structure, just try to put into architectural terms what I'm seeing about the landscape, which is this sort of very Zen-like horizontal horizon line. So we started with one band across the property of a steel and glass structure. I'm going to turn this just so we have a reference point. So you're driving in, and we wanted to start with the one band of, so this is the street facade, as it were, the Murray Place facade. So we had the one-story, very minimal, clear through on both sides, delicate members in steel, and that was my notion of capturing that horizon line. Then programmatically, that would be the public spaces. I needed private spaces. And I also needed to anchor it back into the landscape. And because you enter at the end of this sort of cul-de-sac here, and you enter the property here, to me, there was this notion that there should be these two arms to ground and hold that horizon into the land. And that they should be parallel to each other, but perpendicular to my abstraction of the horizon. And these two arms, as it were, would do a push and pull. The first one, when you drove in, would stop you in terms of your approach in. So as you drove in, you would see this side elevation, and that would stop you. And then the other arm would stick out and come out and embrace more towards the ocean. And so we then get the other arm, which pushes its way out towards the ocean. And so that push and pull of these more solid blocks, which would be rendered in cedar planks, horizontal, in panels on 10-foot on center line, became the more solid two arms that held in the block of the main elevation, which is the horizontal sort of abstraction of the horizon. So for us, the language was coming from two types of architecture. The first being the very transparent, minimalist, I think, in my mind, almost with classic proportions, and has a certain cathedral-like experience, actually, in sort of its repetition of every 10 feet with the structural member. And then that juxtaposed with some of the more early wood beach house structures, which are the anchors that hold that thing and ground that back into the landscape. From Ed Hollander's point of view, I asked him to naturalize the entire landscape and have these pieces sit in a natural dunescape. So he did that for me and created a sort of meandering entry court in through dunes, and these topographically rise and lower. And then certain points there are stone paths that take you up to the main part of the house. There are two retaining walls along the western side and two along the eastern side. And in those retaining walls...
Tim, can you turn that out to...
The landscape?
Yeah.
Okay. So you have the retaining walls that are staggered here on the east, on the west, and on the east. And what's now grass will become just a natural dunescape with one small playing yard off to the side.
Into that. too.
Sorry.
That's good.
Those retaining walls on the side, then what proposing, I asked Ed for evergreen coverage as opposed to just privet lines, because I thought it would be better. I also,
I haven't seen this
yeah,
one.
sorry. Yeah, I met with Lisa and we talked a little bit about this. I don't know if this is, but she's just seeing it because I met with her and I've just asked for it now to respond to concerns. So that they are talking about elevating up to a finished elevation of about 35 above. So we'll have about 9 feet still of house that will be not blocked in sort of its immediate form, which is pretty good.
And how far back would the house be from that planting scheme?
This point?
Yeah, from the center point of that retaining area.
From this point, or we?
From the inside, the furthest point away, or closest point, I should say.
From the closest point. What would you say? Is it about 20?
It's 31.3 feet from the westerly boundary line.
30 feet away, and you'll see 9 feet of the
A little bit more than 30.
angle of the tower.
Correct. I would say that's correct. And what we did on the sides as well, though, not that you would remember, is our house at this point is 17 feet tall here for the first 12 feet back. So we have a 31.5-foot setback. Then we have 12 feet at 17 feet tall. And at that point, we will cover up the entire part of that.
Did you see that?
No, I have not seen this.
No, we haven't had it. We just had a first meeting on Sunday, so.
I see. Okay. So what you're saying is the main bias of the house is 17 feet, right? Which is the inner piece, the sliding glass?
It is 17 feet, 3.5 inches to be precise. I don't want to undersell it.
Okay, and then the arms, as you speak of them, both on the left and right.
They're 24 feet.
24.
Feet high. And we looked also at neighboring houses. Lisa's father's house, for example, the second floor of their house, the second floor of our house, within 6 or 12 inches of each other. So that they're looking out at, if I'm in my bedroom and, well, it's not mine, unfortunately. If my client's in their bedroom and her father's in his bedroom, they are within inches of each other in terms of height elevation. So it's not like we're towering over.
I have a
someone.
question. Is there a pathway to the dunes, an access path to the dunes on one
There
side
is.
or the other? Which side is that on, as you're looking at?
The eastern side.
So if we're looking at that, which side would it be on, the page left? Or page right?
On this one, the access to the dune is on this side.
Page left, right?
Page left,
Okay.
from the street.
And so from the public access there, what sort of break do you have with landscape on that particular side, since you don't have the retaining walls?
You mean from the beach? From the beach?
No, not from the beach.
Well, this is a private road.
Okay. So it's not a public right of way?
No, it's not. As anyone who lives in the Murray McDonald compound will
Just
quickly
asking.
tell you.
Right. Now, to go back, because I know that one issue that's going to also come up is what we've tried to do as the house extends out on both, it's hard because they flip in elevations, as it extends out towards the ocean, we disintegrated the structure. So on the western side, it's a void on the ground floor, and it's a void for the first 12 feet of terrace up here. And on the other side, the first 22 feet are a void on the ground floor, and the 12 feet up, well, actually, it's about 18 feet up above are a void on that floor. So even though these arms, this is hard to see. I think we have it in a small pamphlet, which I can give you guys, because this.
So the arms from above,
The arms
if you will, are going to appear differently.
they appear, if you were looking at bird, they'd appear solid, but we've disintegrated them because I know there's concern about, as it goes to the beach, keeping people's views open.
Sorry, just to interrupt a minute. Crest of Dune, Melissa, maybe to you to say.
19, I believe.
Tim's here. Crest of Dune in relation to ridge line.
Crest of Dune to the house is 122.3 feet.
Right. What elevation of Crest of Dune versus elevation
have-
of house?
Actually, we have.
Crest of Dune's 19.
19. Elevation.
This I did with a standing at elevation 4
Crest of
with a
Dune's 19.
5'6" person. I just 5'6" I. So 6 foot person.
Was it a box shot or just a? Is there any software involved in this? Or?
Excuse me if I may.
We did it on the computer in that we drew a section through the entire site. I chose 4 feet because it goes from 0 up to about 8. So I chose 4 feet for a person standing in the middle of the sand.
Got it.
Put a 6 foot person, said their eyes would be 5'6", took the 19 foot, and then we projected that onto the different sections of the house.
The Crest of Dune is
The
actually
rest
at the
is
20-foot total.
mies.
It's at the 20-foot total.
Oh, I'm sorry, you're
That's
right,
okay.
it's 19.
No.
The landward side of the dune is what elevation, John?
The crest of the dune is 20 feet, so on the seaward side and on the landward side, it's both 20. It drops off rather gradually to 19, 18, and 17, but even probably 75 feet into it, it's still at 50, from the crest of the dune, you're still at a 15-foot elevation, so it's a substantial dune.
So the pool is back a ways from the toe of dune, probably about 50, 60 feet as well?
No, from the toe?
Toe.
Well, toe isn't a regulatory phrase in the village of Southampton, but it's 115 feet from the crest.
Okay.
To the pool.
To the pool.
To the pool. And the house is how far back?
Oh, the house is at its closest to 122.5.
From crest?
From crest, so it's 22.5 feet in excess of the minimum dune crest setback.
Right, I know the pool is 7 feet back from where it, if we pressed it to its maximum, and the house is, I believe, 22.5 back from where it could physically be pushed out to if one were being really aggressive. Again, maybe this is the internal where you cut through my sort of glass box, as it were. And again, just to show you that we kept very, solid cedar areas where we wanted to stop the eye, and then as we went to the extremities, they're either completely open, so we're open entirely from that whole section, and we're open from this whole section so that they disintegrate as they go to the water.
Tim, when you say open, do you indicate that that's open completely without railings, or are they glass railings?
Glass
or wire?
railings, glass railings.
Okay. And what type of glass are you proposing? And what's the reflection?
Right. Well, we've looked into, we've now been proposing just a thermopane low E glass. If we take and go completely non-reflective to the glass, we lose the low E aspect to it, which environmentally I'm not that thrilled about because of the gain that we're going to have within the house. So we've been exploring that issue as to how much.
These are argon filled as well?
Is it argon that they have filled? It's a gas filled.
Yeah.
So you don't need a reflective glazing then, if it's argon, correct? The reason is we have a couple of applications in front of us now with glazing that's very, very reflective.
Right.
Concerns from neighbors and so forth of the shadowing. I think you probably remember the story of some place in Vegas, one of the casinos, where some woman was brought to the hospital. She was burned completely because of the light and so forth.
I think it happened with the Hearst building in New York City that went up because all of a sudden the reflection of the glass and the metal was sending at certain times of the day like a laser.
Yeah, it melted, I think, in the case of Vegas, I think it melted a car's a year or something. Anyway, it was kind of a funny story, but not so funny.
No.
Because this glazing line is above the crest of the dune, it's gonna be visible, and so forth.
Right,
You're still
right.
studying that, are you? Or-
We are. We're looking to get I mean, as you can imagine, these windows are a big part of this house. So someone that can create the windows, where there'll be steel windows, steel framed windows, hurricane rated, large as windows go.
Right.
We need them to be thermally responsible, but we also are aware of the reflective nature. Now, we are...
And you need to match the railings as well on the open area. That's probably a detail that you want to watch, because if they're truly open, you don't want to have a reflective issue there, right?
Right.
Okay. Are you looking at some sort of wire railings or something like that rather than glass, or just?
I hadn't been, because I'd had issues with the wire it's sagging, but also in the village, when last time we got approved with wire and then we went to it, we're installing them, the building inspector said we don't want wire anymore. So I said, okay. So we had to switch. At that point, we switched to glass, because still, because we were looking though at horizontal wire, even though it was tight and met those, he said it still had the ladder effect in his mind.
The 4-inch spread, the toe hold for
He
kids.
still felt that it had the ladder effect. And I've never looked at vertical wire.
Vertical is an option.
It is. Yeah, I haven't.
So will you be providing different glazing types so we can see the reflectiveness of the glass?
We certainly could.
Okay.
I think it would make sense to. I mean, the glass is it's one of the biggest elements that I have, and I want to make sure we don't have a problem with it. I don't need to be the John Hancock Tower of Southampton Village.
Precisely. We have that on a few applications.
I think there was also a house on Meadow, where the glass failed. So it's a big issue. We're talking to a company in Germany. We're talking to a company in Italy. We're talking to domestic companies. We're seeing who can give us the best product. And
I think Tischler has a number of different options on glazing.
yeah, they're great.
Yeah.
And certainly, the objective here is to get the best product. It's not to be penny wise.
Okay, thank you.
Great, thank you.
Public comment?
Any public comment? And you're going to be bringing this in front of the full board.
I'm doing it again.
Down the
It won't be
line.
mine. This is a pretty dry run. It's like a dress rehearsal.
Got it.
There you go.
Lisa, do you want to wait till sometime in the future to ask questions?
I'm going to give it a dry run right now, because I'm going to
Okay.
be doing it again, I'm sure, in the future too. So, Mr. Bennett, do you have anything to say before I stand up?
No, I'm just getting
Do you want me to move these? Is it better for me
No,
to move
actually,
this?
it's fine, because I haven't, I'm Lisa Crawford. I reside at 301 Murray Place. My father is at 317 Murray Place. We received notice we actually, including Mr. Carr, all received our notices on Tuesday after Labor Day, because they were all sent to the New York offices when we were all here enjoying the Labor Day weekend. So I went down to the building department to take a look at the plans, and was hoping to get a smaller version of them, because they are very large plans, and we were kind of laughing in the building department as I took my iPad, as two of us took the pages to take a look at them. What they were able to give me was this. I had to paste it together. They Xeroxed this survey plan, and what I've done is I highlighted my father's house here, the actual living space, and wanted to just point out that this house, where the arm that pushes out to the sea, as Tim has said, where there's the glass second story and a glass terrace, sits 20 feet in front of my father's living space here. So even with the proposed landscaping, which I got a brief glance of. I heard that it was at the building department, and I popped in there, and they were getting the files ready to come over here, so I haven't had a time to really look at them. Even with the proposed planting, you have a glass structure with a balcony that can see 180 degrees around and back into my family's home. To give you an idea, and these are just aerial shots of what the existing family home is here and the lot next to it. The flavor of Murray Place and the Murray McDonald, compound, even though there was one house that you approved 4 years ago and a very contemporary feel to it, I feel that one bad apple doesn't have to spoil the basket. It is a beautiful old compound. The houses there all conform with each other. The line of all the houses, if you look through here, you can see the line of all the other homes. Howard Stern, Leonard Stern, they're all on line. This house will stick in front, as Tim had said, to get this view that they can push forward and have a beautiful,
This might be helpful to you
surreal.
because it shows you.
All right, I'm talking.
Oh, no,
You
I
can
just
talk
thought this,
after
no,
me,
I thought this
promise.
might be helpful.
Thank you. But you can see, they're all online here.
Yep.
Okay, and this is just to give you an idea. I know they're working within their setbacks of 30 feet, and there are going to be retaining walls and so forth. My major concern is that the house will be 20 feet in front.
south.
Yeah, to the south of this
the
home.
ocean,
And it is going to devalue the properties that we have. Mr. Karff, by the way, has not seen any of these plans. I know he sent a nice email, but the plan, he received notice on Tuesday
Are we
and could,
speaking for Mr. Karp now? He sent a letter of support.
but I'm just saying he hasn't seen the plans.
It's
Well, it is relevant, because he
No,
said,
it
I
is
hope you'll build a
relevant.
beautiful home, and he hasn't seen the plans. I'm sure
Let's
that.
move
Let's keep
forward.
going. I
All right,
have to leave
so,
in 10
okay,
minutes,
all right,
sorry.
so I guess that's all I have to say. I would just like it made
Okay.
note that it is a house that the village, the residents and the homeowners of Murray Place I've sent them copies of what I've been able to take with my iPad and shot them off to them. They are concerned about the size, they're concerned about the contemporary feeling of the house and what it's going to do to the feel of Murray Place.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So your main issue is not just the materials, but the siding of the house.
Well, listen, Ham, you can only fight so many battles. I mean, yes, in a perfect world, do I feel that a contemporary house fits in the old Murray McDonald compound where all the homes there, with the exception of that one that you approved 4 years ago, is appropriate to the community and the homeowners? No. I don't know what you as Architectural Review Board is going to allow. A big glass and steel house set within the vista of what we have there is not something that the neighbors are particularly happy with. There is a concern about the glass reflecting. All of those people from Murray Place use that little access on the beach to sit there. That's where they, spend their days and so forth. So if there is sun glaring back out onto them and they're looking back into a glass house, it's a concern.
Okay,
Thank you.
Thank you.
thank you.
Any
Tim,
other-
You had something to say?
No, not, I mean, I was just thinking, to the other side is the Norm Jaffe house on the other side. It also was very forward-thinking at its time. A couple of doors down, yes, we have some very traditional things, but there's also, within 4 houses, if you take a row of them, 2 of them are very contemporary. So I understand concern, and I think there's a certain quietude and classicism to certain types of contemporary that can fit very nicely and harmoniously with the other classical proportions of more traditional houses. And I do want to say one thing, Lisa, because I would hate to do this, and I would never do this, is that even though the house projects out that 20 feet, 10 feet of which is an open, clear balcony, never can they turn around and see into your father's living room, and nor can you ever see this from that huge picture window in your father's living room. Side windows, yes, but you're going to see anything out the side window. But the huge picture window in that, maybe it's not the living room, but that room where he said he spends, no, on the ground floor, that room where we went and said.
I'm concerned about his bedroom and his where they spend their
Okay,
evening hours.
can I just interrupt for a minute? There's going to be a lot of discussion
Sure,
on this
sure, I
project.
don't
We're
want it
caught
to
for
be
time.
contentious.
You two need to have some discussions.
exactly.
We would like that to take place outside. John, do you have anything to
No,
wrap
just
this
a-
up? We have one application that's been sitting
Oh,
here,
yeah.
and we'd like to get them.
No, that's fine. Very pointedly,
Thanks for listening to me.
It is not in the historic district.
One other question.
Maybe you could provide Lisa with a landscape plan.
Absolutely. It just literally,
And
hold on.
would you,
I can see
would
it
you
in the
be
building
willing to
department,
provide a model,
I can send
a
them.
Probably
scale
just missed
model?
it by a few minutes. I just saw it.
Yes.
A model, I think, would be extremely helpful in this instance.
I agree.
That would be terrific,
model.
thank you.
Tim, I'm just-
Set into Hollander's landscape.
Yeah,
Thank
yeah,
you.
yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.
So you're going to be asking us to adjourn this?
Asking you.
Yep.
Okay. Motion to adjourn.
I make a motion to approve applicant's request to adjourn 320 Murray Place LLC. Thank you.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, just a second, we need to get this into the city. This goes into the city. And this is Murray
Good.
Place.
So now we're on Farrell. No, not
No.
Farrell.
We are going, is it 101 Pheasant? Is that
You
what
guys
we're
are
on?
on 101 Pheasant? Yes. Okay.
Right.
Want to call that?
So
Number
we're going
13.
to call BRL for LLC 101 Pheasant Lane. Could I have a file, please?
BRL? Okay. Okay, guys, just so you know, I've got about 10 minutes, so.
Make it very quick.
All right. Okay. Good to see you, Tim.
Hi, my name's Jim McMullen from the firm of Fleetwood and McMullen. We are here for BRL 4 LLC, 101 Pheasant Lane. We are here before you to ask for your approval on a traditional gambrel-style house that there's an existing house there that is being demoed. It's a kind of a Tuscan-styled stucco house. The existing site is very well vegetated. You can't really see into the property or see to any neighboring properties.
Right.
If you can spin this one around. As you can see, I took some pictures from the existing house looking out. From the, let's see here, from the front, this is looking towards the street. There were some existing plantings near the pool that we put all across the front of the street, so you really can't see through that at all. And these are in obviously full foliage and everything. The second one is looking to the neighbor's property, which, as you can see, the privet is probably about 16 or 17 feet tall. Number three, looking to the back, again, there's numerous rows of plantings. In the back are very tall arborvitaes, so as you can see, you won't be seeing through there.
Where's the tennis court, Jim? in
Actually, the
relation to-
tennis court is behind all this foliage. It's in between this
All right.
row and this row.
I just want to get a perspective.
Yeah. And then the fifth and sixth look back towards the street. Here, there's actually a gate back in here, but these are big birch trees, and looking towards the neighbor's house, you really can't see anything. Let me see.
Can you turn that towards the camera?
And also, we did bring an aerial, so you can actually see kind of all the layers of plantings, as
Jim,
well
can you
as.
turn that towards the camera?
Absolutely.
I keep complaining that they can't do that. So the existing lot is heavily planted, what you're saying?
Yes.
Established, should I say.
Yeah, the finishes, we're looking to do cedar shingle roof, cedar shingle sidewalls, stained gray, and white trim.
Okay.
Also, Dean Gamulka is here. He has a planting plan to show what he plans on doing.
Do you guys want to shoot right for the house?
Do we need, it's up to you, I mean, do we do full board on this too?
No.
Existing pictures.
I'm fine with it.
Go ahead.
Existing pictures of the site and planned pictures of proposed material.
Okay.
Like Jim said, there's a lot of stuff that was planted like 30 years ago, so all this light green material we are keeping intact. There are these.
What's the orange stuff?
That's his house.
That's the new house.
It is a gray shingle.
There is a 15-foot beech hedge, which is fantastic. 2 weeping gigantic beeches that we're maintaining. We're adding this driveway, this courtyard in front of his house. I can pass a plan around. It has the existing pool and the house, so you can see relative to the pictures that are in that book. There is a wall, concrete wall that juts out. We're taking out, and there's no screening on this side. So I'm putting the ilex steeds here, and some boxwood. There is probably a 20-foot taxus hedge there that the deer have browsed, so I'm adding rhododendrons in the back. So we are completely concealed from the neighbors. For a little height differential, weeping willows, and then red maples, indigenous trees to line the driveway. It's very simple. The house is beautiful. It's just dotted with boxwood and some birch trees.
Who's in the picture here?
That's Mr. Halka's assistant.
Pretty funny. Great perspective.
He's a funny guy.
Posting and mailing?
Mailing
Posting.
and posting.
Thank you.
Okay.
Can we speak of the architecture?
Sure.
Okay. Thank you. It's very nicely presented.
Thank you.
Jim, you're saying that the cedar is stained on the exterior, and the roof is cedar, obviously, and fenestration is painted, the details are painted, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And is this brick or stone?
This is brick.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
Probably Glengarry Danish blend.
Okay. And the gates, is that part of this application?
Not at this point.
I see.
We'll have to come back to you for those.
All right.
And it looks like the lot coverage is going down.
Yes.
Yeah, and it's not even
And
that
what's the
much
ridge
more
height?
of a house.
32 feet.
32 feet. I don't have any issues with this.
I don't either. I think it's a beautiful house.
Thank you.
Given the size of the lot, it's a definite improvement to what was there, and the landscape plan is terrific, so.
Thank you.
Any public comment?
Just that guy
so.
there in the back.
Okay, motion to approve.
I make a motion to approve BRL for LLC 101 Pheasant Lane.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Good luck, guys.
Thank you very much.
Nice
Have a good night.
presentation, thank you.
Now we have minutes. Antoinette?
All were present.
We're all here? Okay. Did everyone get a chance to look at the
Yes.
minutes? Any issues?
Nope.
Okay, motion to approve the minutes for August 25th.
I make a motion to approve the minutes for August 25th, 2014.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion to close.
I make a motion to close the Board of Architectural Review and Historic Preservation for September 8th, 2014.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Good night.
Good night.